Good afternoon, good morning, welcome to yet another live and special session leading up to our conference, Happiness is Real, How to Thrive Before, During and After Divorce, which is on this Saturday. Woo-hoo! The entire team, in total 6 speakers, and all the people behind the scene helping us to get us up and running are so excited. So, and I hope you have bought your pass and you haven't get your pass today on www.happinessisreal.com. Happiness is real. And it's real even though you go through a divorce or if you're stuck in a toxic relationship. I've been there myself. If you follow me for a while, you know my story, and it just take me because I'm so into this. Welcome to my channel. Sorry for all this. I'm so into these days. My name is Camilla Kelberg, and I normally go live every Thursday, right, 2 p.m. to share the tools that I learned that I helped me. Thrive before, during, and after divorce, which really helped me kind of exit my toxic relation so much faster than any therapist would have imagined would be possible. And I go live to teach the tools that I use on a daily basis now to become even better and rehearse, and also tools that I teach my clients, and I even help my daughter to embrace. And hi, Rita, so lovely to see you. So again, my name is Camilla Kelbeck, and that's my normal role, so to speak. But now this special event is leading up to our conference this Saturday. How to thrive. Happiness is real. How to thrive before, during, and after divorce. And I organized this event with amazing women on stage because there are so many women out there who suffer in silence. They suffer in silence. You suffer in silence. I've been there myself, and I know how terrible and how kind of isolated I felt while I was in it until I reached out for help. And it did take me some years until I realized that it was actually my toxic relationship that held me back from achieving how I really want to live my life. So that's the whole purpose of this event, is to help you tap into the dream that it is possible to live a better life. And it's just about leaning forward and cherry pick for whoever you can find an inspirational sources that will help you tap into, or that will help you create your best life and will help you exit whatever toxic relationship you're in right now, you haven't healed after divorce, right? It's so important. So, and that's why we put up this conference, to inspire you how to do this. And the topic I'm going to talk about today is financial independence. Financial independence are so important to have. And what I know to be true, that many women out there are financially dependent on their partner, which makes them stay in the toxic relationship, even though they so much want to actually live a better life and live a different life not with that partner. And that's the reason why I spotlight financial independence today. And we have a special speaker with us on Saturday, Michelle Stewart, who will talk about what you have to do in order to get to your financial independence. And so here's what I'm just looking at my notes, because there's so many things I want to share, and I'm gonna try to really be structured in this one. So here's what I know to be true, is that I have clients in my practice who are so overwhelmed after divorce, they don't know how to support themselves nor their kids, because they've been so dependent on their husband. They sit there, they may be in shelter, and they say, Camilla, I don't even have money to go and rent a house. They are so overwhelmed. All right, so that's one indicator. If it's like if that situation resonates with you, it's about okay, thinking out loud and reaching out for help. What can you do differently? Because there always is a solution, right? I also know that women who are so disappointed after divorce, because, and why they're so disappointed after divorce is because they have sacrificed their life. They use the word sacrifice. They devoted their life to family and to their kids, while the husband were making an amazing career, only to realize when they were breaking up and when they're going through divorce, the husband, the partner, the ex, took most of the money. And so they sit there, they have no finances, they can't even afford to stay in the house that they live in. And they're so financially dependent on the husband. And they're actually, I know some clients in my practice that are so stuck in what they can do, and they're waiting for the divorce to go through. And first then they have money. And that's why another reason for paying attention and talking about financial independence. I also know women who have experienced that their husband freezes their shared bank accounts once the wife has filed for divorce. Boom. And then you're there and you cannot do anything. And then that probably can lead to some panic unless you reach out for help and say, what do we do now? Um, I also know women in my network, and I now have one clients who have been in this toxic relationship for so long. They know they can file for divorce, but they also know they're no longer able to live that lifestyle as they now have, which makes them so financially dependent on the husband that they'd rather tolerate the toxic relationship than actually filing for divorce. And if you followed me for a while and you listened to some of my lives and read some of my posts I put out on LinkedIn and other social media, you know that when you stay in a toxic relationship, it affects your well-being emotionally, mentally, and physically. So there is absolutely no kind of time to waste here. If you're stuck in that toxic relationship, you better find a way out. That is at least my advice, and I cannot advise when I'm a coach, but I can advise though, and I would say, and really invite you to think twice. What is your life purpose here? It's really not about pleasing someone else who doesn't treat you with respect. Um, and and so I also know women, I'm just going to read my notes, who actually are very successfully financially, but their ex-partner still abuses them financially. And that gets them really, really angry, right? So that is the, when you're flipping the coin, is so you may be financially independent, you have maybe have your so much fun, but you struggle with the co-parenting relationship. So that's another reason that you should look at how you actually embrace your financial independence and your life. And I have my own story. My own story is that I've always been financially independent, but I have experienced financial abuse in my latest relationship. And that was not fun. And I actually felt really abused because I was the one that made most money or the most money. So financial independent, financial abuse comes in many formats. But what I know to be true is that when you file, even before you file for divorce, but when you plan to file for divorce, you need funds. You need money to pay your attorney. You may need some therapist. You need help, financial funds for that. You're gonna find a new home. You're gonna create a lovely home for your kids or for yourself. You need funds. So if you not already now have your own private fund or your bank account, it's about creating or establishing that fund and really take control of your money and your mindset. Because when I was thinking, preparing for this, I was thinking, okay, I know quite a few women who are financially successful, but also financially ready to give up their independence. And I was thinking, because that's different from who I am, or how I think, and how I experience and live my life, and I've always been independent. And three words comes to me. It's harmony, being together, and united. I think that those, and I'm just generalizing now, so don't take anything like really personal. But I think if those words resonate with who you are, harmony, united, togetherness, you may have a stronger tendency to join forces financially, which is also very nice. It's also very nice. You just have to pay attention or be aware that you also need your own funds, because it comes as a cost, and you may know that cost only subconsciously. But women who come to me to help for help, and we talk about how they spend money on themselves. They say they hardly buy anything, and why not? Oh, it's because of the kids. I'm not worthy for that. And so why do they not think they're worthy of that? It's because they have the shared funds. So that's another side effect of risk of being financial dependent, is actually that you don't prioritize yourself. And again, you need funds when you get a divorce. So better start now. And about creating your own private account, and then still keep a shared account if that's how you run your household. And when we really boil this down about financial dependence or financial independence, it comes down to your money mindset, right? There's so many women who get overwhelmed about the financial funds, and that is also okay. But we're gonna teach ourselves, we're gonna take back control on how we view money and our relationship with money. And I was then thinking, okay, how does our relationship, you may ask, tie back to how we feel in our mindset? And then let's just jump back maybe 1,000 years or 2,000 years, our ancestors. So in that point in time, men were out hunting and they were getting food and whatever we needed at home, and the women were taking care of the family and the kids. And so for many generations, we lived in that. We lived in that maybe belief system, in that way of thinking and those patterns. But now, in these modern days, we become more independent. Women are now on the job market. We have amazing career journeys. Though sometimes we just not, we forget to bring in our financial mindset. And that is why it's so important to bring back or take back your financial mindset, or take control of your financial mindset, so you actually set yourself up for success. Because then when you need it, you have access to your own funds. So here's a few questions I want you to, or I ask you, invite you to ponder on just for a while. How would you feel if you were financially independent to support yourself? How would you feel to be financially independent to support yourself? I know a few of my clients, when I ask that question, they would say, wow, what a life I would live. How more amazing I would feel. And that's exactly about that. It's a feeling, it's a freedom of choice on what to do. And now is another question here. What would you do differently if you have your own private funds, your own private bank account, and a shared bank account? What would you do differently? I know a few clients who reached out to me saying that they had only shared funds. She so much wanted to work on herself, um, and invest in herself, like working with me. But she had a challenge. The husband had spent so much money without her permission renovating the house. And when we were going through how we could work together, luckily we found a solution, because there always is a solution. Kind of a penny dropped that the husband spent and spends and spends the money on the fund from the shared account, the shared funds, but she didn't have money to invest in herself and her own personal development. And that was a really interesting moment in her life and also like in my life, because I remember I've been always independent, financially independent, but really experiencing firsthand how relationships can be. And like when you haven't any agreement on how to spend your money, that actually ties into maybe some like financial abuse. Is that you really have to be really clear and have some really clear guidelines on how you're gonna spend the money. And suddenly she realized, hey, I actually wanted this and this money to invest in myself, in my own personal development, so I would feel better. I would be a happier person, and I could give my sons a better upbringing because they would have a better and a more happier mom. Wow. Wasn't that just a kind of an icebreaker or aha moment of what the difference between financial dependency and financial independency, what type of life that can bring? At least I think so. And that's the reason why I share. Um, and here's another one. If you were financially independent, would you file for divorce today? If you were financially independent, would you file for divorce today? In my research and preparation for this live, as I do and always do, I read up on stuff, and research and data shows that women who are financially independent are more likely to file for divorce and get a divorce than those women who are not. And that makes so good sense, or so much sense, because if you have your own funds, you're ready to move, you're not anxious, or you don't have the fear of how to survive, because you know it's not about surviving. You know what to do next. You have your funds to go out and rent a house, buy your own car. You're sure you can pay for the school fees, all that stuff. That's what happens, and that's the magic when you're financially independent. And so it makes so much sense that women who are financially dependent on their husband are likely to tolerate the abusive relationship and the abusive environment and stay stuck in that because they are dependent on their husband financially. And that's another reason why you should really reconsider if you are financially dependent on your partner. Um, Let me just see my notes. Yeah, so that is again that is why financial independence and the financial topic is on the agenda on our conference on Saturday, because there are unfortunately many women out there who haven't considered to be financially independent. And I think here, talking about and considering our female tribe, I think maybe there's time now for a movement to change our money mindset, because we cannot go through divorce without cost. It does cost money to divorce because you need to protect yourself. You need to align up with different professional um, people in your network who you can pull in when you need help for yourself, get help for your kids, when you need help from a lawyer or attorney, whatever, right? So I think really it's about changing whoever we can have on board, really about making a movement on our financial mindset. Then I think in general, we women would be so much stronger than we are today on many, many different levels. Anyway, that was my very, very personal voice talking right now. And I always talk very personally, but I think that was a very strong message coming out there. So just really want to wrap up. On Saturday, on the conference, Happiness is Real, Michelle Stewart will talk about how you can get financially or become financially independent. Michelle Stewart is a financial advisor, and she has some really good tips and steps on what you do, secure your funds, do a budget, I just lost what's it, but there's really some really steps. Understand your income, understand why you have funds, understand why you have different investments. Often I hear that women do not even know where the husband have invested money. So that's why we have, as women on the financial topic, we have given away control to the man. But that is not to say that our man, our husband, our partner cannot really abuse the freedom, right? And our I lost the word right now in English, but our trust. He may ruin our trust. I'd like to say, okay, go do that. But when he doesn't report back and you don't ask, but where are our funds? How much do we have? I hear cases they don't even know how much money they have in the different treasury funds. So Michelle will talk you through all the different steps you need to do in order to, on your journey to become financially independent. This is such an important topic, and that's why I bring it on. Financially independent. We have to, if I can put it like this, we have to become more financially aware, and we get the opportunity to actually play it up in our favor. And isn't that just amazing? To really be in control of our funds. I think it is. So with this, if you haven't bought your ticket already, make sure you get your pass on www.happinessisreal.com. It's open, and it's open till Saturday, Saturday midday lunch-ish. It's on 10 a.m. Eastern time, and we are on live Oslo time, Mauritius space, 4 p.m. So go in and buy your ticket, because this is an amazing event. This is a life transforming event, a life transforming conference. And let me just emphasize, it's only the speakers who go live on camera. We know all the speakers, we talk about it. We know that divorcing is a private matter. We know that you are maybe vulnerable. That's the reason why you reach out. You may also know that you want to protect your private space, and that we do. So join on in. You don't go on camera. All cameras are off. You will be muted by default. You can raise your hand if you have any questions, or you can ask to come on stage, and we will invite you up on stage, right? So don't have any hesitations to come and join this amazing conference, where we will teach you a lot of tools, a lot of methods, and really help you to really inspire you to up-level your life and get out of that toxic relationship and start creating your best life. And I had a client conversation this morning, and she is in the process of really creating her new life, but she was kind of doing a look back to her past belief system and way of being. And so here is about, one thing is the past, and the past may protect us, but now it's right. If we live in the past and we linger in the pain, we cannot create the more beautiful state in our life. So it's really about okay, past, you're done. I no longer need you. Now we're creating our future. And that's what it's all about. So buy your pass to the Happiness is Real conference. I'll put the link in the show notes. And with this, thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate that you join this play or the show when we are live, and also the replay. I appreciate all the comments that you send and all the engagement on this event. I look so much forward, and we, the whole team and the speakers, we all look forward to welcome you on Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern time. So with this, thank you very much. Rita, thank you for showing up and being here with me. It's a joy. With this, enjoy the rest of this Wednesday, and see you tomorrow. Much love. Bye for now.